Minister, the rising cost of living is absolutely crippling many people. Constituents tell me really regularly that the day-to-day costs of running their home are for them becoming unmanageable. And the cost of electricity is without a doubt one of the biggest issues for householders. Rising electricity costs is a global trend, and it's a trend that's creating cost of living issues right across the world. And here in Ireland, that means it's impacting on renters, it's impacting on homeowners, it's impacting on young people, and it's impacting on pensioners. It's affecting ordinary, hard-working people whose salaries or whose hourly rates are not rising in line with the cost of electricity. So I really do welcome this emergency measure from the government to provide a one-off relief payment of €100 towards each household's electricity bill. This will put €210 million back where it's needed, back in people's pockets. I was contacted by an awful lot of constituents who welcomed this measure when it was announced back in December, and I'm really pleased that we're able to move on this now. It's been a hard thing to put together, but I think it's something that's really welcome. And Minister, I would ask you to consider the establishment of a hardship fund to help families and individuals who may need additional support to meet the rising cost of living. While, Minister, I do welcome the payment to help with the cost of electricity, I think we should also be focusing on long-term sustainable options that will make electricity more affordable. Ireland has huge potential to deliver renewable wind energy at a massive scale. This would also give us the opportunity to create new jobs in rural towns and villages along the coast of Ireland, investing in and renewing those communities. Ireland could produce 20% of the EU offshore renewable energy in 20 or 30 years. Think about that for a second. 20% of the EU, not EU-wide offshore renewable energy. And that wind energy could become our biggest contributor to reducing carbon emissions and creating tens of thousands of jobs outside of our core cities. It would mean creating sustainable, affordable energy streams too. In Ireland, as you know, Minister, we've one of the world's strongest wave capacity and steady winds as well, which gives us a unique resource. But it's not one that's well enough tapped into. And that's why I really welcome the Maritime Area Planning Bill, both at committee stage and when it came before the Dáil last month. That bill will help us achieve our 2030 renewable energy targets and bring in much needed forward planning regime for offshore wind. So while I do welcome the one-off cost reduction on electricity bills, I think it's really important that we continue to work on developing sustainable electricity provisions as well. Minister, I've also been contacted by a number of constituents who have taken steps to retrofit their homes. They are concerned by the prospect of both rising energy costs and the potential of maybe looking at spending more time working from home. And that's why they've made that sustainable switch. And while I think it's absolutely right that the government does whatever is in our power to tackle the rising cost of traditional energy, I think it's also a really good opportunity for us to be encouraging homeowners to make the switch to long-term, more affordable, more sustainable sources of energy. And I think we do that by genuinely incentivising people financially. I got a query from a constituent recently. They were looking at installing a new solar panel system. And altogether, with fitting and parts, the cost was coming in total to €9,000. They researched all the necessary materials and components, all high quality, all sourced in Ireland, long warranties, and they found that that cost was coming to about €3,000 for materials alone. Now, they will receive a grant of €3,000 towards the cost, but it's still going to be in a shortfall of €6,000 for installation and labour, which I'm told takes about 2 days to be carried out. So, Minister, I would ask, what is causing such overhead costs? Do we need to be looking at increasing the retrofit grant? What can we do to support people who want to make that sustainable switch? Because I'm sure, as you can appreciate, there aren't that many people who can afford €9,000 to install solar panels. I do, as I said, welcome the interim relief that this payment will give families who are struggling to pay their electricity bills. And I welcome all further long-term actions to alleviate the cost of living for so many people who are struggling with that. Gur magat.